So you might be wondering, why am I wearing my Christmas sweater? Because this
No, not at all.
episode,
You're very festive.
I know.
You're
Well, it's
very
also this
festive.
this episode is probably going to drop on Christmas. On
I'm
content.
not, bro.
Is there
Go ahead.
anything you want to get off your chest that nobody knows about on this podcast right now? Any secret? Like, are you a closeted bull riding fanatic, or like, do you like NASCAR? Anything that nobody knows about you?
It's kind of silly, but I mean, I was a pageant queen when I was younger. I was runner-up in Miss England, Miss United Kingdom, actually.
It's not silly.
No one knows that about me. I play tennis.
Yeah, I think that's lovely. If anything, it's something it's very British. Everything that you just said is like anti whatever we do on this show. All right, let's do this. Welcome back to Desperate Radio, and welcome back to another episode of Hello Henderson. I'm Haas, and I am with someone very special, someone that's their name has come up quite a few times on this show. And because she is so good at what she does, and she basically connected a lot of us that come on the show and talk about Henderson, Miss Lorraine Yarde. Hello, welcome to the show.
How are you? People don't really know
Wonderful.
what I do. People don't know what I do, so that's the thing. We could share what I do.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell us, first of all, who are you?
My name's Lorraine Yarde. If I was to describe myself, I would say that I'm a community builder, an ecosystem builder here in Henderson. And as you so rightly said, I've been kind of bringing the community together over the last 12 months, hosting events in the city of Henderson to try and build an innovation ecosystem. Basically, that's my goal, right? That's like my side gig, so to speak. That's not my real day job. That's just what I'm doing because I like connecting people. I'm a consummate networker. So that's kind of like a passion for me, bringing people together. So yeah, that's how people have been introduced to me. What I do, I mean, a couple of different things. I help corporations build successful executive teams. By finding them like key executives, management members to kind of help grow their businesses. And I help startups basically. So that's kind of also it kind of falls into what I'm doing here with Tech Alley Henderson. Yay. We just had our 1-year anniversary. So yeah, I also work with startups that, have concepts and want to bring ideas to market, kind of using some of my own experiences as an entrepreneur in helping them get their businesses off the ground. So that's me.
And that's how we met. We met through Tech Alley. I had just moved to Henderson. I was looking for things to do. Thank you. And from my perspective, when my wife and I showed up, you were the warmest person in the room. You invited us in. You were so busy, by the way. You were like running around making sure everybody was
like a headless
ready.
chicken. Yeah, I'm always am. Yeah.
But you still made us feel welcome. Introduced us to a few people, made sure that, hey, did you talk to this person? Did you talk to that person? So you have this gift where you, within 10 seconds of talking to people at those events, you know exactly what they're there for and what their need of. That's my observation of who I saw that day and continue to see every time I come. So, and I try to make it to every one of those events because
I appreciate that.
If I have nothing to show, all I'm doing is I feel like I'm connecting with new people and new friends, and I'm making new friends.
You just never know who's going to show up at a Tech Alley event. We have executives incognito from big companies that come and show up, right? And then we have, startup entrepreneurs like yourself who, are trying to build something and just make connections and network. And that's the beauty of it, right? Is that, we're bringing different types of people together, and we just have no idea how one person can help another, and it's happened like, people have done real business. People have made real connections that have helped their businesses progress. And that's kind of this journey for me, is taking Tech Alley to the next level. So in 2026, there's going to be some new exciting things happening in Henderson that I'll be spearheading.
We're excited. Is there anything you can share with us right now or not?
Well, yet? It's going to be under the banner of Innovation Henderson.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's going to be just listen out for Innovation Henderson. Got pushed back a little bit with me, with my own personal things, with selling a house and buying a house and moving and doing all that sort of stuff. So I'm kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball, but ready to move forward with it now. This is a good time over the holidays to get my website going and building some infrastructure around it. We're working with a bunch of partners. A lot of people actually that attend and have spoken at Tech Alley are going to participate as mentors, or and working with Nevada State University as well. Our Henderson-based university here, to help create programs and workshops to actually take what we're doing in these meetings to the next level,
That
providing some real tools and resources for people in Henderson.
what a wonderful approach. I cannot tell you how much I love that. Let's talk about, how did you end up in Henderson?
Oh my gosh. So I moved to the States in 1993, lived in New York, Long Island, New York, actually for almost 16 years. Had a couple of startups there. That's kind of my journey was, the startup world started in New York. I did a bunch of different things. I mean, I had technology startups with one successful exit. We ran a commercial flooring business. We, $1 million of work, we were doing every year, working like at the World Trade Center when it was there, large supermarket projects, big projects, right? All sorts of different things. I mean, I'm the sort of person that likes to do things, new things. That's why I love helping entrepreneurs, because every new idea is new to me and I can kind of inject my ideas into it. But anyway, my husband's in the boxing business. He's a trainer, manager, and trains professional fighters. And so he was spending a lot of time in Vegas, essentially. And then he's coming back and miserable because it's freezing in New York in the winter and it's lovely. It's beautiful. I mean, look how beautiful it is here. So it was just kind of like, it was just time for us to make a move. And so he's like, oh, we're moving to Vegas. I said, okay, that's fine. And that was it. And we just came and we looked around and didn't really know the difference from Henderson to Vegas to Summerlin, but just landed in Henderson and found a home that we loved. It was 2009. So, and never looked back. I would never go back to the East Coast,
Yeah,
ever,
same. Yeah,
ever.
as you know, I grew up in Queens and New
Right.
Jersey, and
Yeah.
I love going and visiting there.
I
Even
love
I'll go visit
visiting.
there during the winter, even,
Yeah.
but I would
Yeah.
never go back and live there.
In the winter, nah.
Yes,
I'll go
no.
back in the summer, not in the winter now.
I'll go back for like the Christmas side of winter, where everybody's
Yeah.
celebrating Christmas. No.
Well, we got family and stuff there, but yeah, literally a snowstorm chased us out and I never looked back. Like literally a snowstorm came in and we drove out, and we're in a 26-foot box truck with a menagerie of animals and personal belongings. And yeah, that was it.
That's funny. What was your impression of Nevada and particularly Henderson? The
Well,
culture and people.
when we first moved here, like I couldn't get used to the pace. Like it was so much slower than New York. Like I'm talking about now 2009, 2010 when first started, so like I still really did most of my business on the East Coast. At the time I was working on a startup business, incorporating biometric technology into medical devices. And so anyway, most of my relationships, my investors were on the East Coast. Everything was really East Coast. So I mean, I just happened to live here and like where I live, but never really got involved from a business perspective. But noticed that, like when you were dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, people didn't have the same sense of urgency that they do in New York on the East Coast. That was then. Now, that's changed a lot in the last 15, 16 years since I've been here. It seems like now, especially in Henderson, right? Like Henderson is buzzing. Um, so many more people have moved here from the East Coast or from California, whatever, right? So it's changed the dynamic of the town, So now, and that's kind of why, it's the whole growth thing that made me start thinking about getting more involved in the community, because I flew under the radar for many, many years. I was just here living, right? Conducting business remotely with my connections in New York and different parts of the country, but never really kind of focused on doing any business here in Henderson. But then I started seeing some changes in the growth and stuff like that, and started to become familiar with some of the council people. So really what happened was, in my old neighborhood where I used to live, obviously we have Nevada State University, it's actually in my old neighborhood. And it was a college at the time, and they got the university status. And there was this big thing that the city of Henderson was trying to do, building a road behind the university, from the university, down through the desert, coming back through our community. And like all the residents in our community were up in arms. It's a RS1 zone community, which made it's like a rural preservation area, right? So we don't have street lights. It's like 1 acre lots, all custom homes. It was just like a really, and we didn't want a bunch of college kids. Not there's anything wrong with it, but we didn't think it would make sense having them coming through our neighborhood. The roads aren't really set up for that kind of traffic. There's an exit, the next exit along, actually 2 exits along from where we lived. So anyway, cut a long story short, I got involved with the community at that point a few years ago, and started to hear about the whole Henderson Grow initiative, and got to know the mayor, Mayor Romero, and a bunch of the council people. Councilman Jim Seabach, became the councilman for Ward 1, which is a ward that I was living in then, and I'm still living in now that I've moved. And anyway, at the end of the day, you can't get away from growth, right? You're going to always have that growth, right? So you either join the growth or you fight against it. It was pointless fighting against it. So I decided to join in and support the growth. So that's when I started talking to City of Henderson Economic Development about, okay, you've got all these people coming here. Like, what are you doing to support them? Like, I want to get involved, maybe do some sort of like an innovation, like a hub or something like that, right? And at the time, Jared, who just left economic development, sad to see him go, but was relatively new and didn't know me from Adam, right? Literally had and didn't take me seriously. I'm like, who are you? Like, we don't know who you are. You've never been involved in anything in here. You just coming in here and say you want to do this and this and this. And like, so, huh. So interestingly enough, I developed quite a good friendship with Councilman Seabach, right? And so I had a coffee with him and said, this is what I want to do. Like, I see a vision here, and I see all these people coming here. And like, I go to networking events, and there's nothing in Vegas, really. There's a chamber, sorry, in Henderson. There's a chamber, and the chamber do a great job for certain types of businesses, just service-based businesses, that kind of thing. But there was nothing really here for innovators. Like, any networking events were in Vegas, and I used to hate trekking into Vegas. And like, why can't we do something here? So met with Councilman Seabach and started kind of sharing my idea with him about trying to bring people together, basically in City of Henderson, to try and pull resources, provide resources to new people that have moved into the city. So he then went to Jared and economic development and said, listen, this woman, she's serious. I could tell she's serious. She's not messing around. They still didn't take me seriously. But anyway, they said, okay, fine, we're gonna see what happens. So they got behind what I was doing, and then they all came to my first event, which was held at the Atwell Suites, which just actually it wasn't even open at the time. It's a hotel attached to the Pass Casino, and there was like 150 people there, and like it was like this, like sardines in a can. And they said, okay, maybe there's a need for this here. So a year later now, the City of Henderson Economic Development have been supporting the events financially. I cut something out. We should maybe go back. So I was going to start my own thing from the ground up. And Liz Lopez from Economic Development said, well, hey, Josh Levitt is doing this Tech Alley thing in Vegas. Why don't you just do something with him and start Tech Alley in Henderson? So basically, cut a long story short, after meeting with Josh a couple of times and Liz or whatever, I signed a licensing agreement with Josh to be able to host these events. So I own the right to Tech Alley Henderson, basically, to host the events in Henderson. So that's kind of how it all came together. It was kind of like, if you can't beat them, join them type thing, And then I knew if there was going to be things happening in the city that I wanted to be involved with it. I wanted to be a part of it, So.
Well, there's power in unity, right? Together we grow, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Together we build, which was the motto for Global Entrepreneurship Week this last week, Together we build. And yeah, I've always had a way of connecting people. I'm a connector in general. Like I see opportunities. I see if I meet somebody, I typically can think, like you said, you kind of said when I met you, I knew who you were and who I should connect you with. That's kind of what I do. Um, in my real job, as I said, I help companies build really powerful executive teams, and essentially, I'm an executive recruiting consultant, right? I'm not a recruiter per se, but I really help companies identify what they're looking for, the right types of people, and then we go out and we find them. You know, um, but then I also do business consulting. So and I've been on the other side of it too, right? So I've been an entrepreneur. I've had a startup. I've been through the struggles of raising capital, and trying to break. Like we were innovators at the time when we brought biometrics into the marketplace. Like every phone has a Face ID thing now, right? But when we were putting fingerprint technology into consumer products, right, which was my first tech related startup, nobody was doing it. Nobody knew anything about fingerprint technology. It was before they even put it in the phones. So we were innovators. And so I know how difficult it is when you're trying to introduce something new to market that people aren't comfortable with or not familiar. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. So that's why the whole innovation space really appeals to me, because I've been on that journey before, and it's exciting and it's challenging and it's frustrating and it's all of those things. So I use that experience to help smaller businesses. But then again, it's just all to me it's just all networking. It's all building relationships. It's all about building relationships, togetherness, like whether it's to grow, to build, whatever. You're never an island of one. You always need to have people with you. I've always firmly believed in collaboration, right? Because you can be more successful together than you can by yourself. You can't. I mean, I think I'm pretty good at a lot of things, but like I have weaknesses. Like I hate accounting. Like I hate it with a passion. So I would never tackle the finance side of things. I mean, I would do investor presentations, but forget. If I have to put a pro forma together, I can. But do I want to do it? No. So we hired a CFO who's, still a dear friend of mine. This is going back, for my first startup like 15 plus years ago. But anyway, so yeah. And did that answer your question? I think I went off on a tangent a little bit, but
I don't want you to worry about it. We're here having a conversation. We're just
yeah.
shooting the shit, shooting the breeze, as they say.
Yeah. You could shoot
um,
whatever you want.
yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Talk about whatever you.
This is
These
Iran. You
questions
can
are
shoot anything
are
here.
just here to guide us through the conversation that we're having fun and getting to know Henderson better. That's all.
Okay.
What surprised you the most about living here?
What surprised me? The amount of great parks they have here. I mean, it's just the trails. Like, honestly, in the time I've been in here for almost 16 years, haven't taken advantage of all of the stuff that they offer. Like, this is probably one of the like, you see so many people outdoors. The weather obviously helps, right? But there's people just outside doing stuff. And we just started to kind of go on the trails about 6 or 7 months ago, since moving to the new house, like, because we live very close to the Lake Mead recreational center. But like even before that, there's the wetlands loop trail, there's the river mountain loop, all these beautiful trails. I was like, wow, I mean, this is amazing. Like, because people think Vegas, like I used to come to Vegas for trade shows and for meetings and for business before I lived here when I was living in New York. And like, you don't realize there's a whole like community outside of Vegas where people actually live and kids go to school. It's not just a strip, right?
There's been a couple of
And
debates on this in the last few weeks on this show about how the Henderson and Las Vegas are cousins, too close.
well,
Maybe they're not. They cannot be
no,
independent of each other.
well, that's an interesting point, because to me, like my thing is, I want Henderson to build its own identity, to establish its own economic identity, right? So yeah, okay, Vegas is always going to be casinos and gambling, but now this is the place where people live. So what's important? Healthcare,
Mhm.
jobs, like what types of jobs? Manufacturing. So innovation in healthcare, innovation in manufacturing, entertainment. Like, so these are the areas that, like, when I talk about innovation Henderson, that I kind of want to focus on bringing entrepreneurs into, like, under our umbrella, that have interest in growing businesses in those areas. And it doesn't matter what it is. Every business right now is technology. right?
Yes.
If you don't know technology or incorporate it into your business, then you're gonna lose, right? Someone else is gonna overtake you. So Tech Alley, right, is interesting because we have businesses there. I mean, what we had a one startup story was with Karami Olsen, who makes the pill pod, right? A Palula pill pod. It's not really technology, but then she has an app attached to it, which helps you track medication. So there's a technology piece, right? So everything, any kind of business, any kind of startup these days has a technology element. So that's why everybody's welcome under Tech Alley. Like, it's an umbrella for everybody, because even if you're not running a tech focused business, it's not a SaaS company or whatever it might be, or an AI company, you need to be able to use these tools. So we have presenters that talk about AI and SaaS or whatever it might be. But then we also have motivational speakers, people that talk about how to, like we had a session about, how do you find your why? And, this is all part of running a business, whether it's a tech business or whether it's just a business, that's designing some sort of, or bringing some sort of product to market, like whatever it might be. So, um, again, I don't know where I went off on that tangent, but you,
I love it. I love it. This, I mean, this is exactly who you're trying to get to know. You're trying to get to know Lorraine
yeah.
Yarde. What triggers her, what excites her, what she likes about
Everything
living
excited.
here.
I get
Yeah, right?
excited about a bunch of things. But
Exactly. And tell me, what do people not get about Henderson? Like, what do they miss when they decide, you know what, I don't want to live in Henderson. I might want
oh
to
my
live
God, no,
somewhere
Henderson's a
else.
great place. Henderson's a great place to live. And the fact is that, there's this now. I mean, I think I'm kind of helping to kind of contribute to this, but there's this like undercover like ecosystem that's sprouting and growing in Henderson. You know, Vegas is ahead of the game, right? They've been established for many years. I mean, so Tony Hsieh started with this technology ecosystem downtown, right? And that's been going for many years. Unfortunately, he passed, and it's still continuing, but it kind of like kickstarted it in Vegas. Henderson didn't have anything. And now we're like, innovation is like becoming a topic of conversation. Again, I love the chamber. I'm hoping to be able to partner with the Chamber of Commerce. I actually have a meeting with Scott next week, and we've talked about how we can collaborate with what I'm doing, because I bring a piece of the pie to the table that they don't do, and they do what I don't do. So it makes a lot of sense for us to try to work together, because all of their business can benefit from what I'm doing, and the people that I'm working with can also benefit from the chamber. I have to say, and we asked about one thing people don't know, the chamber in Henderson is great. Henderson Chamber of Commerce is one of the best I've ever been involved with. I tried Vegas. It's too big. It's too unfamiliar. They're always trying to sell you stuff, but they very rarely make really valuable connections. And the president, I mean, and maybe it's changed now, and I'm not trying to diss the Vegas chamber at all. I'm not trying to diss Vegas, period. But like, I live in Henderson. Henderson's home for me, and I'm boosting up Henderson because I believe that Henderson's is a better place to live than Vegas, personally, right?
Agreed.
But the Henderson chamber, like if you join the Henderson chamber as a Henderson business, and then you connect with Scott Milreth, the president, like he's always open to making the right introductions to you. He'll introduce you to people to help you move things along, like genuinely, right? It's way more personal than the Vegas chambers, because it's a lot smaller. So, I'm hoping to be able to work with the local Henderson chamber in the next phase of what I'm doing with Innovation Henderson. We've talked about it, and hopefully that we'll be able to announce something in the new year. But it's just there's so many resources in Henderson that people don't know about. But now we're creating that awareness, and we're bringing more resources to the table.
Okay.
So,
I want to switch gears a little bit. It's still about Henderson.
okay.
But I'm a father of two young
Yes.
ladies. I was
Yes.
raised by a single mom. I have a very strong and beautiful wife. You are a strong female lead in this community and Henderson story. Karami Olsen, wonderful story. I mean, we had her on the show before, and
Cool.
amazing story. Love her energy. Love her story. Let's talk about women in Henderson and women businesses and women led businesses and women leaders. Uh, can we talk about the support that Henderson provide for the women in the community?
Um, I don't necessarily know that there's a real a support system, official support system in place, right? But we're going to change that, right? That's one of the things we want to do is change that. I mean, if you look at the makeup of Henderson, I mean, Michelle, the mayor, is a female. You have a new councilwoman, Monica Larson, who's a female. There are prominent females in the community. There are prominent females leading initiatives in the community. There's me as a female leading a technology initiative or entrepreneurship initiative in the community. So, I've always been like a proponent for like women-owned businesses and helping women, move their business forward. And interestingly enough, at the Tech Alley events, a woman approached me, and women approach me and say, I'm new, I want to do this, I want to do that, and like I always welcome them with open arms. But I think that's a great segue to kind of something we could add to it, is like a woman focused group that can really help women entrepreneurs. And I've done that. Like, I like to feature women entrepreneurs. During Women's Month, we had a whole panel of women, and all the speakers were women. And I've been a woman in technology forever, right? When I before I came to the US, I was a technology recruiter. And then I worked with a technology consulting company, right, as a woman, and I was the only woman. Then I came to the US, and that's how I ended up staying in the US. I was sponsored by a technology consulting company that was based out on Broad Street near the stock exchange, right? And I was the only woman that was actually active on a desk, right, meeting with clients, and all the other women were secretaries. And it was like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. And I noticed that, but not now. I mean, now women are extremely powerful, and I think women start more new businesses than men. Whether it's technology, or whether it's just service-based business, whether they're doing nails, or they're esthetician, doesn't matter what it is, right? But women, I think there are more women entrepreneurs starting businesses than there are men in the last couple of years. So there should be more support for women businesses. I mean, then there is, you can register yourself as a WBE and the set aside work, but not a lot of people know how to go after that work. And actually, Asal Vox Gibson,
Yes.
she spoke at last week. Now, she did a presentation several months ago about how to go after like government work as a woman-owned business or as a minority-owned business, right? So, I think one aspect of what we're going to do as Innovation Henderson is do that. We're going to help women. We're going to help minorities kind of take advantage of the resources that are provided for them. But at the end of the day, we want to help everybody. And, so I haven't really segmented because we don't want to discriminate against any particular community. This is all encompassing. Everybody's welcome, right? But to your point, yeah, I think, however I can support women, I'm for it. So there's going to be an element of what I'm doing that's going to focus on that, I think. Back in the day, it wasn't easy because most guys didn't think that, whatever, I'm not even going to go there.
No.
No, but honestly, no, but it's cool though, because when I had my technology startup, like I had to be so much better and have so much more knowledge than everybody else for people to take me seriously. Because I'd walk in and I've got my heels on, and I've got my skirt suit on. I'm like, But then when they saw that I knew what I was talking about, well, then it becomes an advantage, right? Being a female, because then it sets you apart from everybody else, And that's how I've always approached it. And actually, I think that's a skill that I can teach other women as well.
Yeah.
It's never a disadvantage for me. It's always been an advantage for me because I've had to be smarter and quicker and faster and more, agile in my brain, and you know what I mean, and just have more knowledge.
Why is Henderson a good place for women entrepreneurs?
Well, I mean, economic development. I mean, City of Henderson economic development is like just now they're really like recognizing the support that people need, right? So you talk about women specifically, but I'm speaking more generally. Like economic development is really just they have open arms. They welcome new businesses, new ideas. They provide support. You know what I mean? And why not? Like I mean, I think Henderson is a growing community, right? And I know a number of women in technology, actually, again, who have kind of established businesses here who are doing really well. It's just, listen, again, to me, it's not men, women, it's whatever, it's just, Henderson's a great place to grow a business because of the ecosystem that's being built here, right? And, that's a lot of the work that the City of Henderson Economic Development is doing. But again, I'm hoping I'm contributing to that in, building this community and helping to build this innovation ecosystem. And like I said, when I kind of spin off and do this whole innovation Henderson thing, I think that's when a lot of this will make more sense, because the feedback that I get is, these networking groups are great, but like, what happens next? Like, okay, what's the next step? And most of the time it's okay, we have these conversations, but there's no formal follow-up, there's no formal resources, there's no workshop, there's no this. So okay, so that's our next step. We're now going to provide people with workshops, sessions, people they can go to, entrepreneurs, subject matter experts in different fields that that can help startups. So that's my vision, is building this innovation hub under Innovation Henderson, where we will be able to be a resource for women, men, any kind of new startups, right?
What do you see in like a common thread amongst some of those folks that are trying to start a business? Is it ambition, talent,
Passion,
hunger, passion? Okay,
passion,
tell us a little more about that.
passionate about what they want to do. I mean, like, if you're going to be successful in something, whatever it might be, you have to be passionate about it, right? You have to believe in it. I'm the same way. Like, if it doesn't excite me, if I'm not passionate about it, I'm not going to put the same kind of effort in. And that's what I recognize in the people that that I meet and that come to Tech Alley. They're all passionate and excited about whatever it is that they're trying to do. And that's really what I think is what drives everything that they do, is that passion and excitement.
What do you think holds people back from getting into
But
the
a fear of failing, lack of
uh,
resources. Now, I mean, so as an example, my vision with this Innovation Henderson is really having people in place that can walk them through every step of their business growth development, right? Even to the point with go to market. So, City of Henderson, they have relationships with all the businesses, so opening up doors so that that the business marketing part, the business development part of it's easier. So like, my idea is, if you have an ecosystem where all the resources are in place, really is setting people up for success, not failure. Like, the only reason they're going to fail is if they're not working hard enough, or if their idea isn't really that great, or there's really not demand for it. But if you've got somebody with a great idea for a business or service or product, whatever it might be, and you put them in an environment where there are people that have been there, that have done it, that have the experience, can walk them through the process, and then help them establish the connections to sell their products or services. I mean, that is really a recipe for success, and that's what I'm trying to establish here. So it makes people more, less afraid to take that step, right? It's nice when you're making a salary, when someone's giving you a check every couple of weeks, right? It's comfortable,
it's comfortable.
and people get comfortable,
Yeah.
you know. But when you have to go out there and make that money yourself, not everybody. And the thing is, not everybody's made for that, right? Like, not everybody is an entrepreneur, and there are
There's
people.
there's definitely a feeling
Yeah,
of, for me anyway, I don't know how I feel like you're probably in the same boat. There's a feel of thrill and
yeah.
a sense of it
It's
beyond
like a
just
drug. It's like a
accomplishment.
drug to me.
Yeah,
It's like, that's my drug. Like,
yeah. It,
negotiating a deal and like making
when
it
you chase
work.
that deal and you close it, there's a sense. It's not
Yeah,
a sense of accomplishment. It's something
no,
greater than accomplishment.
it's like, yeah, it fuels you to do the next one and the next one and the
Yes,
next. So it's just,
absolutely.
and I describe it as passion. It's probably something else, but
Yeah.
like, for me, it's passion about, it makes me feel good to connect people. It makes me feel good to help companies. It makes me feel good to help professionals. It makes me feel good, you
It
know?
feeds what your ego is lacking, and that's that self-confidence. It feeds your self-confidence
Yeah.
almost when you get something and you believe in it, and somebody says, "Yes, let's do it." It's almost you're feeding and growing your self-confidence that you are capable of doing this. So, I mean, that's why I do it.
And the thing is that, again, not everybody's really cut out to be an entrepreneur, but with the right support, anybody can do it.
Right.
With the
Absolutely.
right support, like, so, they talk about solopreneurs. Well, I mean, I'm not. I have a partner, but I mean, I do work independently as well. But it's hard when you're working by yourself.
Yeah.
But when you have a support system behind you, right, and people that you can turn to ask questions, or people that can hold your hand through the process, it makes it a lot easier. So you
Heck,
know.
we don't work together, and I bounced my ideas off you, and you said, "Well, here's what I think." And what did I do 2 weeks later?
Mm,
You called it right at the Tech Alley Henderson, like, "Haas, did you pivot?" I'm like, "Sure as heck did."
yeah,
That doesn't mean that
yeah.
I'm completely shutting down my ideas
No,
and
no.
going a completely different. No, it's adjacent
I
to what I
think you're
do.
onto something here, by the way. This Hello Henderson is pretty cool.
Thank you.
Right? You know what? Because nobody's doing it. It's like nobody was doing these, ecosystem building things. So I jumped into that sea. Like no one's doing a podcast about Henderson.
Yeah, and I think
So
I think so far it's been met with nothing but open arms,
of
and
course,
I'm
why
hoping
wouldn't
to
it be? You're
continue with
doing
it.
something great for the community and you're bringing people on that can tell you about what's going on. I mean, you should connect with the council and invite the mayor and invite the council people on. That's.
Once again, Mayor Romero, here it is. There's another open invitation. Once again, council people, the room, the invitation is wide
I
open for
can
you.
no, I can help you with that. I'll gladly make that because I think it's great. It's a great platform for them to talk about what they're doing. It's good for them to see that someone like yourself has just moved here and is getting engaged with the community.
Speaking of, struggles and moving in the right direction, in your opinion, what can Henderson do more to make it easier for somebody like me or you or anybody else to grow their business, start their business, take the first steps?
Um, what can they do more? Make themselves a little bit more accessible.
Okay.
Economic development specifically, right? So maybe they should have like some open sessions where people can come in and talk to them. I know it was difficult for me to communicate with economic development until Councilman Seabock kind of broke the ice, right? So just make themselves more accessible for people that have ideas to come and brainstorm with them. It doesn't have to be anything formal, but maybe do like the council people do like meet and greets, right? So they every month they do coffee with the mayor or coffee with the council. You know what I mean? So doing something like that, like an open forum where people can come and talk to economic development and just kind of like spread out, make that face connection, one-on-one connection with someone in economic development with an idea, and then have them get more engaged. They have limited resources as well, right? So I mean, they support me financially to help me put on the events, but they only have so many much as resources. So, but they have those connections, they have relationships, they have access to resources. So, but most people don't know how to access economic development. So, making themselves more kind of readily accessible through, monthly coffee meetups or something like that. In fact, you've given me an idea. I'm going to reach out to Liz Lopez about that because I think that will be something that she should do. She'll probably be good at spearheading that. She was
Right.
instrumental in helping build the Las Vegas the downtown community in Vegas. So,
I was going to
and
recommend it'd be lovely. It'd be great if we can see them at Tech Alley because we know we've seen some of them at Tech Alley event.
Liz has come to most
Yes.
of them. Um, Jared is not with us anymore. I don't know who's going to take over from Jared. Maybe Liz will. It'd be great if she gets promoted, but I don't know. But she's spoken, she's presented, she's attended. We have, Councilman Seabot comes to most of them. Councilwoman Larson has been to a few of them. Yeah, we want more involved. Listen, I work with Henderson Economic Development Marketing Team. They help me market the events now, which is great. I think again, it's like baby steps. So when I first started, nobody took me seriously. Then they came to the first event and they said, okay, there's something here. Let's see how it goes. Can she maintain momentum? Now I'm a year into it. I'm maintaining momentum. So now City of Henderson have brought their marketing people in, the economic development marketing team, to help me promote the events. So it's kind of like that relationship, they're opening up more and more, I think. But to your point, economic development as a group should be more accessible. I think that's what they can do better.
So, what other events other than coming to Tech Alley do you want to see in Henderson for people to join? You just mentioned a couple, like maybe something like they have like a hub like in Las Vegas, Tech Alley event, Tech Alley Henderson, wonderful place for you to meet people and get to know the right
Yeah.
resources. What other
Oh,
events do you wish you can see here?
well, that's what Innovation Henderson is going to hopefully provide is those events. It's workshops. It's a place where startups can go. When I say a physical place, right now we're going to, we don't have a building, we don't have a set space, but there's going to be, a place, a conference room or something where people go and meet other people who can help them on their entrepreneurial journey, right? So those types of having those types of, and then providing actual workshops or sessions where we can help startups, okay, how to best set up their company. I mean, from the very start, like most people don't really know, what's important to look for when they're setting up a company and what they should do and the provisions they should make if they want to raise capital, how to structure it. I mean, from that point through, developing a product or a service, and then how do you get it to market, your go-to-market strategy. We want to bring together subject matter experts in all those ways and provide workshops, whether it's a whole, like a 6-week session or whether it's a single workshop, those types of things. So it's a follow-on to just networking that's structured in a sense, but not actual focused on a particular topic or subject. We want to then take to the next step. So that's what I'm hoping to provide through Innovation Henderson, is those other types of meetups and things and resources that people can go to. Yeah.
Weeks ago, and on the very first episode of Hello Henderson was featuring Brandon Ward and the We mentality. And one of the things that they provided for me as someone who just moved here is basically a checklist that says, if you're starting a business, did you complete this? Did you complete this? And I basically took that as my welcome packet, if you will, and my guiding light, and I just ran with it. And
Brandon's a person that, these are all the people that are going to be involved. This is, again, I'm bringing the community together, just providing the structure, right? Because there are resources out there. Brandon's a great resource, you know what I mean, for companies, for startups. So, but if we have everything in one place and people know about it, then, then it's going to encourage more people to come and start businesses here.
Yeah. So what would you want the people in Henderson to know? I asked Brandon the same thing, and he said, you don't have to do this alone. I say, you're not alone. You don't have to do this alone, and nor do you need permission from anybody to elevate yourself and lead your life the way you want. So what do you want the people in Henderson to know?
As far as what, if they want to go?
As far like, people that want to, start a business, go down the road of being entrepreneurs, or, they're kind of holding themselves back. Like, what do you want them to know?
I think you said it, like they're not alone. There are resources here for them that can help them, right? And I'm happy to be that point of contact and to connect people, right? So that's what I do. So the reality is that, as you said, together we build, together we grow, right? Yeah. The fact is that there hasn't been any kind of structured way of connecting those people. Chamber of Commerce has an incubator in downtown, right, on Water Street.
Yes.
They provide an office space, but there's no real infrastructure for support or anything like that, right? Okay. But as you said, you've got people like Brandon, there's people like myself in the community. So for me, if you bring all those things together, provide some structure around it, yeah, because there is help. There are people in Henderson that will help you start your business, that have resources that can connect you to people, okay? And again, that's to me what Innovation Henderson is. It's going to be providing that, bringing all of these fantastic resources together to connect people so that they know that they've got somewhere to go. Okay, I'm going to start a business. Innovation Henderson is the first place they go. Why? Because there you can meet people like Brandon, you can meet people like me, meet people like Vox, you can meet people like yourself, whatever it might be, Agile, whatever it might be, right? We're creating like a, that ecosystem where, there's no one expert. We're open to everybody, both from the subject matter expert side and for the entrepreneurs. So that's really what, and I think once we establish something that's more structured and we put the word out there, it's going to create more buzz in Henderson, right?
I brought this up the last couple of episodes, and I just wanted to know what people say, because I'm all about honesty and being authentic and being real and just calling it out for what it is. I got almost the same response from both Joshua Stacy and Joshua Levitt. What is your impression of people in all those communities when it comes to supporting one another versus, well, I want to keep my IP to myself and I want all the success to go to me?
I mean, I've only witnessed people wanting to help other people, like because again, what I said to you before, for me, I've always been successful through collaboration, right? So I don't see that me mentality. I see that we mentality. To
Brandon,
use that,
Brandon, we're promoting your business, so
right?
take
Yeah.
notice.
I mean, that's what I see. Because I think everybody realizes that, you, for example, we're having a conversation. Well, I could probably help you with something. You could probably help me with something. I think everybody realizes that. Anybody that's a smart entrepreneur realizes that, they need resources. They need to help. You can never do it alone. And that's what I've witnessed here. I've never seen anybody that's like, oh, I'm going to keep this to myself. I mean, I've worked with entrepreneurs that have been like that, and most of the times those are the entrepreneurs that aren't successful,
Exactly.
right? Unfortunately, right? But the community that I see and that attend the Tech Alley events in Henderson are more than willing to help, another entrepreneur. So, I mean, that's why for me it's like so inspiring, and why I think if I provide some sort of some sort of structure around creating this community where people can do that, because they're there and they want to help.
Yeah, let's all try to be more like Mr. Bailey as opposed to Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life. By the way, I just dated myself. It's my favorite Christmas movie ever.
Yeah.
All right, we're about to wrap it up here. Let's do rapid fire. This is the fun part of the
Let's
episode where
hope
we
I can
talk about
think on my feet quickly. On my
exactly. All
feet.
right,
In
you
my
got you
seat
got
quickly.
ready? Favorite
Ready.
favorite Henderson spot to unwind.
To what?
To unwind.
For me, it's a tennis court, and they're all over the place. So that's for me.
Okay. Favorite place to eat.
Oh my gosh. My new favorite place is Luna Rosa at Lake Las Vegas.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
personally speaking, and I talk about them. I don't go there often as I should. Chinitas, right across the street from the pass.
Yeah, I've been there before, but no. I mean, this is great Italian food, great atmosphere, authentic. Oh my gosh, go to Luna Rosa. I literally just, I went there for Thanksgiving. I didn't cook yesterday. We had Thanksgiving dinner there, not turkey. But,
Okay. We'll try it out.
yeah.
Best hidden gem.
Oh my gosh, Lake Mead Recreational Park.
I
I
haven't
mean,
been yet. Waiting to
no,
go.
really. I mean, like I used to go to the lake, just like by where the boats are docked and stuff. But like, there are so many like beautiful trails. You can drive down to Calville Bay. There's a boat dock there. You can rent a boat. I used to go all the way to Willow Beach to rent a boat. We're gonna go out on a boat. Calville Bay's like 20 minutes from where I live. Like, I had no idea it was so close. So really, and that's all part of Lake Mead recreational area. So I think that's the biggest hidden gem that we
Okay.
have.
All right. Gotta go check it out. My wife and I have been talking about. My wife started riding her motorcycle finally yesterday. We're supposed to go around the
You
block a couple
ride a
times.
motorcycle?
I do. I've only been riding since
Well,
last
oh
year.
wait, so she rides though.
She started riding. Yes, we went to a class together here at
She has
CSN.
her own.
We both passed,
Oh
and
wow.
she has a Honda Rebel 1100.
Oh,
I have an
so
Indian Chief dark horse, and yesterday we was just supposed to go around the block a few times. We were out for 4 hours riding just locally, going back to Green Valley. She did not want to come home. When I pulled
well,
into the driveway, she was like, "Nope, going beep beep," and she just took off. So,
I ride pillion with my husband on the back of his bike, right?
do you really?
But I do. That's what I don't ride myself. I probably should. But
You
anyway,
should.
but
You really should.
if you ride, oh my gosh, go ride through Lake Mead
That's
Recreational
one of our spots that we
I'm
say we want to go
telling
to.
you.
Lake Mead.
And don't go, and what you do if you come in through like Lake Mead, where you pass Lake Las Vegas and you drive in, make a left, going towards Calville Bay. There, I mean, like my husband well, I'm a big hiker. He doesn't ride. He just discovered hiking, but there are so many beautiful hikes. And then guess what? You can get to Valley of Fire from here by going through the park in about like an hour, maybe even less. It's
Yeah.
so close to here, and I never realized. That's why I'm saying it's a hidden gem. People don't even realize it's that close.
Okay. We're gonna have to check it out now. We have to.
Yeah.
We definitely have to check
And
that
on
out.
a motorcycle, it'd be great. I mean, like he has a Can-Am, so I'm on the back, which is kind of comfortable. So yeah, but you guys will enjoy that ride.
What every newcomer to Henderson should know.
What every newcomer to Henderson should know. Um, As far as like the community, I mean, it's a super safe place to live, right? Super safe place to live compared to other places, really. I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
that's a tough one.
All right.
I'm trying to think what I could tell people. I mean, again, I'm a
I feel like you
big
can discover it. You kind of said it earlier, but I wanted to see if there's something else to it. You
yeah.
said
I mean,
there's
like
definitely a lot of trails here, a lot of
there's
hiking trails, a
trails.
lot
Like
of nature stuff.
if you like the outdoors, Henderson's a great place to live. Like there's marked trails, and then there's so many unmarked trails. The wetlands, we ride our bikes and scooters on the wetlands. It's there really is. So yeah, I think that's something that you should take advantage of what Henderson provides. There's a lot here for community members.
Something Henderson could use more of.
Good restaurants.
Not chains, right?
Yeah. Just, like there used to be so many more like nice restaurants in Henderson, like, and that's why I say like Luna Rosa on Lake Las Vegas. It's been there forever. Like it's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to have to go to Vegas to eat a nice meal. I want to be able to eat a nice high-end meal here. The M Resort has Anthony's, but there's only a few, scattered around like high-end restaurants. So to me, that needs more high-end restaurants.
What do Henderson need less of?
I don't want to say people because, but I guess I'm going to be selfish because, I still think Henderson needs to maintain its rural. It's kind of a semi-rural. It was always like a semi-rural area. Like people enjoyed living in Henderson because it wasn't Vegas. So I don't want Henderson to become Vegas, I guess, is what I'm saying. So when Henderson's developing, I want it to develop responsibly, because like it's growing so quickly, and that's good. Growth, like I said to you, if you can't be enjoying, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, because you can't stop growth. But I think responsible growth is important, right? Don't grow faster than the pace of the businesses and the environment and the infrastructure can support. You know, I'll give you an example. Where I live, in Calico Hills, just down Lake Mead. I'm kind of between Calico Ridge and Lake Las Vegas, right? They're building 3,000 new homes there on Lake Mead. It's a single lane road at that part of the road there. I know they're going to expand it. You know what I mean? So think about the infrastructure before you build the houses, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like they're doing it now on the 215, right? They're expanding the 215
Yeah.
because there were so many more cars. Like when I first came here, I could get to any part of the valley in 20 minutes. There was no traffic at all, none, ever. So now there's so many more people here, and the infrastructure hasn't grown to support it. Like they're doing it after the fact.
They're
So
playing
just
catch up.
grow responsibly,
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
responsible growth.
All
You
right.
know,
Okay. You have a message for the people of Henderson.
watch this space. Innovation Henderson's coming, okay, and it's going to provide resources for entrepreneurs that have ideas that want to bring products and services to market. Watch the space, because we're going to be providing those resources for you very soon.
Awesome. Awesome. Lorraine, how can people reach out to you?
You can reach me on my business cell phone, 725-324-5522, or my email is my first name, Lorraine, Lorraine, at D for dog, S for Sam, G for giraffe, C for Charlie, LLC.com.
And we will have all the information, not just on the screen,
Perfect.
but in the comments
Excellent.
below. And
Excellent.
you'll be able to contact her.
This
And
was fun.
you
I
will
should have
not
put
be
on a Christmas
disappointed.
sweater.
I
I feel
promise.
like I've
If you contact Lorraine, if you talk to Lorraine within 30 seconds, you're going to know you made the right decision. That's just my personal take on it.
I
Yes,
appreciate
this was
it.
great. I loved it.
I should, I should have put on a Christmas sweater because I feel like I let the side down now.
Yeah, well, so okay. So you and I know that yesterday was Thanksgiving, but for the
Right.
people watching, this is probably going to come out on
Yeah.
Christmas Day. That's
And I'm wearing like a dark blue navy. Oof. I didn't really think about that. Can you like
so.
do something in editing after the fact?
I don't know if I'm that good.
Uh, this
But
is cool though.
to thank you again for being on the show. I really wanted to thank you for
My
taking the time.
pleasure.
I know you're so busy and you don't know how much I appreciate this. Joshua Levitt said, you got to have Lorraine on. Brandon said, you got to have Lorraine on. Kearney Olson said, you got to have Lorraine on. So
Well, I'm here.
Finally, Lorraine is here.
Yeah. And I'll come again. I mean, this is great. I'd love to come on again when we have a particular initiative I want to talk about. But I love what you're doing. I support what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think City of Henderson should support what you're doing. And I'm happy to help because I
Excellent.
think what you're doing is great. I love it.
And I look forward to future collaboration. I mean, like I said,
Absolutely.
you gave me some advice, and you didn't even say like, that's $100 or $200 or whatever. You're like, hey, you should do this. It's because you have the right heart and the right mindset for the person that's in your position. So I appreciate you for that.
No, listen, I think the takeaway is pivot your business if you need to, right?
Yep.
Like don't always be set on one thing. It's not always the right thing. Just if something else comes across your way that you think's better, don't be afraid to make changes,
Exactly.
because change can sometimes be good.
Yep. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode. I want to thank Lorraine again for being on Hello Henderson here
Super
on
fun.
Despen Radio. And tune in for more episodes in the future. Thank you for
Thank
being
you,
part of
Haas.
this. Thank you. This is Haas, and this is Despen Radio. Anything you want to get off your chest that nobody knows about on this podcast right now?
I mean, I'm an avid tennis player. I play tennis league. I'm pretty good. I'm all right.
That's lovely. I
don't
some
know what
class
to
to the
tell you,
show. I love that.
Have some weird hobby, like I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have any weird hobbies.
Okay, that's comforting to know that we're not inviting weird people.
Old ladies running around on a tennis court in short skirts.